National Geographic is out with their newest season of one of their top-rated shows, Sharkfest. They're offering more than 25 hours of new content, highlighting up-close encounters, cutting-edge science, and stunning footage of the ocean's most misunderstood predator.
Joining us now to discuss the new six-part series investigation, Shark Attack, are shark conservationists Candace Fields and marine ecologist Dr. Mike Heithaus. Good morning to you both. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Of course. Can you tell us more about the show and what sort of questions you're trying to answer?
Yeah, so Investigation Shark Attack is a six-part series that tries to look at these negative shark-human encounters, these shark bites, from the shark's perspective, which is a little bit of a different take than we typically see televised. We typically see sort of dramatizations of the incidents, talking to victims, to survivors, to witnesses. But this time we're looking at it from the shark's perspective. So trying to understand, based on their biology, based on their habitat use, and based on the science that we have done and that other experts from around the world have done, why sharks would be in these locations overlapping with people in the first place, and what people can do and take away from this to have shark-safe ocean fun.
I know that anytime that people hear the word shark, the conversation usually turns to shark attacks. So, and obviously how to prevent them, that sort of thing. What can swimmers do to minimize their risk of getting bitten if they see a shark and they're worried about potentially getting bitten or attacked by one of these species?
Well, the first thing to keep in mind is that these bites are really, really, really rare, and probably driving to the beach was more dangerous than getting in the water. But things you can do if you're worried about them: first, talk to the lifeguards. They're going to know the local conditions, and that includes sharks and things like rip currents, which can be more dangerous. Now, things like avoiding murky water, avoiding schools of fish where sharks might be feeding, dawn and dusk are times to avoid, or swimming alone are a few quick things to think about. But if you do see a shark, keep your eyes on them, maybe slowly exit the water. Do not turn around and flee from them. But I think the one thing we want people to really recognize is that sharks are actually really, really good at avoiding biting people. And it's just these really rare incidents where it's wrong place, wrong time, or even a scared shark or one that's startled out of a nap that results in these incidents.
So what are some of the dangers sharks are facing in their ecosystems, and what is being done to help?
Well, sharks are facing a variety of threats, and the biggest threat that I can say is humans, and that's covers a whole variety of things, whether that is overfishing, whether that is pollution, whether that is climate change. All of these are things that, for all intents and purposes, the biggest threat to sharks are people. Over 100 million sharks a year roughly are killed by people, while only on average 10 or fewer people are unfortunately lose their lives because of sharks. And so there are a ton of threats that are impacting these sharks, but a lot of great science is being done to understand these ever-changing oceans so that we can best conserve these animals and work to ensure that shark populations both start to rebound where that's necessary, and then when there are stable populations, ensure that those are able to be maintained.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about that. How has shark behavior around humans in particular changed over time? Are there any new trends that researchers are noticing?
Well, I'm not sure if there are a lot of new trends about how sharks are behaving around people, but one of the things we're seeing, sharks are like people. They've got their temperatures that they really like. And so as we get warming temperatures in the oceans, we're seeing sharks in areas they weren't as often before. And we're also seeing more sharks in the U.S. as populations rebound. So, for example, we're seeing white sharks move kind of further north along the California coast and are probably going to be getting into Oregon and Washington more than they used to. But the thing that people should feel good about is that work that's being done is showing that these sharks are around surfers all the time and are ignoring them, and may actually be learning how to avoid people and not bite them. So that just because there's a shark there doesn't mean that there's going to be a negative encounter.
That's actually, yeah, thank you for pointing out that misconception for sure. It's so interesting. Thank you both for joining us today on ARC Seattle.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You can watch Investigation Shark Attack and the rest of Sharkfest on the National Geographic channel. You can also stream it on Disney Plus or Hulu. There's not always a threat.
No, not
if there's
always
a shark
threat.
next to you.
My boyfriend is so excited about Sharkfest.
Yeah?
He talks about it all the time
Y'all
this time
gonna
of year.
watch?
Well, at least he will, I think. Maybe be, we'll see.
Okay.